In this screencast, I'll be giving a quick demonstration of Dive Buddy Pro iPad edition. This is the 1.2 version of the application, which is currently under development, but the only difference between this version and the current one that's available on the App Store is the dive statistics pop-up, which you can see there. So firstly, to get started, what you need to do is you need to create a dive site, and obviously once you've created your dive site, you can reuse that dive site when you enter your logs. So if you click on the globe icon at the top of the menu bar here, you'll be presented with all the dive sites currently stored by the application, and you can use the multi-touch on the iPad to scroll around the world map. If you click on or if you touch a pin drop, it'll actually display some further information, and then you can use multi-touch to scroll down to all the dive sites that you've currently got listed there. So I've got a couple of dive sites. First one here I've got is the Eliza Strong, which if you touch on the screen there, it'll actually bring up the dive site, which it stored from previous session. So to create a new dive site, you just click on the plus icon on the top right hand corner, and it'll bring up a blank dive site, and it will currently use the GPS to position where you currently are. So I'm just going to create a fictitious dive site. I want to call it San Francisco Bay. Can't spell. And here you can set some information about the dive site, such as the difficulty of the dive site, the maximum depth, and the type of dive site it is. And then to actually set the actual position of the dive site, you need to use multi-touch to locate essentially where you're diving. So if I'm going to use multi-touch there, I'm going to, where the target icon is this in the middle there, that's where the dive site, your positioning is. So let's just put it onto the bridge, I guess. Yeah, there's a bridge. Okay, so we're going to pretend that our dive site is there, and then that will actually populate your latitude longitude. From version 1.1, the latitude longitude is no longer editable by hand. You need to use multi-touch to do so. Or if you press on the use current GPS position, it will set your current position as the dive site. Okay, we'll call that the dive site. Press save, and if you now look at the map, you should find that that dive site has now been added. There's a pin drop, there you go. Okay, so that's how to create a dive site, and we'll hide that now. If you want to create a new dive, firstly you need to enter the date and time. So we'll click on the icon there, and it'll actually give you the option of the date and the time. So we'll just use the current time. Now we'll pick the dive site by touching the new dive site button. Now, if you've forgotten to add a dive site, or you didn't press the globe icon and create a dive site, you've got an option of actually adding a new dive site by pressing the plus icon here, and that will bring the new dive site display up. Or from here, let's pick a dive site. The little mini map on the right will actually zoom to the location and present the same map as what you picked in your dive site. It populates the dive site name and the location. Now we can just enter the starting pressure of your tank. So you can use bar or PSI. I'm just going to use bar, it doesn't really matter, as long as you're consistent. And it works out how much you used. The size of your tank, 12-litre tank. The FO2 is your fraction of oxygen, so if you're using a nitrox blend, you'll change that. That'll actually affect the calculation on your RDP. And the amount of weights you're going to carry. And I normally carry about 12 pounds of weight. You can pop like the air temperature if you like, surface temperature, bottom temperature. If you touch anywhere outside the text field, the keyboard will disappear. On the iPhone edition, but on the iPad edition, there's a little icon on the right bottom hand corner. Touch that and the keyboard will disappear. We're going to change the dive type, set a bit of current, no surge, and the visibility was good. You can put whatever you like in the visibility, just like in the PADI dive logs. In the next version of Dive Buddy Pro, your wetsuit and the wetsuit thickness will be pre-populated using a default screen, and so with your equipment like torches and reels and hoods. If you set a default, it'll actually preset those defaults for you when you're creating a new dive site. And there's a little text field here to enter additional information about your equipment. And let's delete all this. I think for the next version of Dive Buddy Pro, I'm just going to have a delete all button to get rid of the text there. On the iPhone edition, there is a delete all button on most of the text fields. The quick way of doing it is just to create a new dive site, and I'll quickly show you how to do that in a second. Lots of deletions. If you touch one of the folders here, you can pick a picture. So if you've taken a picture in your iPhone or uploaded photos from your camera, you can select some pictures, save that. I've given you up to 4 picture selections. There is obviously memory limitations with these mobile devices, so if I put more photos on there for you, you actually might run out of memory and crash the device. So I've decided to stick with 4 photos. It's 4 more photos than you'd be able to use on your normal dive log. That's a weedy sea dragon. I took a photo of that at Jervis Bay National Marine Park. Okay, and now we're done. We're just going to click on Apply Changes. And if you touch the dives button on the top, you'll actually see that the new dive has been added. So that's, if we wanted to create a new dive from here and clear all these fields out, you just click on the plus icon on the top right hand corner. And as you can see, the notes is also cleared pretty quickly. So if you didn't want to use the backspace like I did before, if you just press this, it will clear everything for you to your defaults. The next feature that we have here is the just a quick RDP calculator. If you just want to do a quick calculation without entering it into the log. The RDP calculator is based upon being compatible with the PADI ERDP and RDP using their metric tables. I haven't actually implemented US tables out. There is slight differences, very slight differences between US and the metric tables. If you do click US mode, all it does is just converts your depths from meters into feet. And if you take a look at both the PADI US table and the PADI metric tables, you'll notice that the no decompression limit for a 10-meter dive on a metric table is 219 minutes and versus 205 minutes on the US tables. So look, these dive tables are only a guide, so you know, I wouldn't be too concerned about you know, whether you're in pressure group A or B. Generally, most people dive computers anyway, so if you're using a dive computer, you'll find that the calculations provided by any dive tables, whether it's PADI or SSI or CIMA or BSAC, will all be different anyway. So yeah, so don't be worried about that too much. I do plan on actually at some stage creating compatibility with other dive tables, but you know, other than that, we're using dive computers these days anyway. If you need to find out the maximum operating depth for any nitrox blend, you can use the nitrox calculator here. So say you want to do a dive to 25 meters, you can go ask the dive shop to give you a fraction of oxygen mixer, an EAN40 mixture, and that will give you the best nitrox mix for that depth. You can also use the fraction of oxygen calculator here. If you say, if you don't use, I think it's EAN33 that I've got there. It says that the maximum operating depth for that is 32.4 meters. So you can just quickly do your nitrox calculations, and this is again compatible with the PADI calculations. Again, you can switch to US to feet by pressing on the switch bar there to clear that, and if you touch anywhere outside, it'll disappear that away. In the settings, you got your user profiles. You can store all your personal data in there. To delete a dive, there's a trash can there. Whatever dive is currently displayed will be deleted. If you need to get some support, you need to ask a question or provide some feedback, you press the submit feedback button at the bottom. You'll generate an email and it'll attach the dive configuration file so I can take a look at it to help you. And to do transferring between your PC and the iPad, if you touch the little Wi-Fi icon here, this will actually connect, this will actually run a web server on your iPad. So you do need to be connected to your local area network. Then point your web browser to the address that's presented to you there on the right port, and you'll get a web page which will allow you to download all your dive sites and dive log and settings. If you download the .csv file and edit that, you can send it back and it'll actually update your dive log. But in order to back up all your dives, you just copy everything except for the .sqlite file, just everything except for that, copy all that to your PC, and then to restore it, you just upload it all back using the upload button to your device, and it'll restore your settings. But you do need to upload all the .xml files first, and then the last one you upload is the .csv, and that will do the restore for you. Dive Buddy Pro iPad edition is compatible with the iPhone edition, so you can restore or you can copy between the devices. So if you want to create the dive logs on the boat in your iPhone, get home, turn on the Wi-Fi, download the files to your PC, load up your iPad, use the Wi-Fi again, push it to your iPad, you'll get all the dive sites from your iPhone. So that's pretty much a summary of how to create a dive site and to create a dive log entry using Dive Buddy Pro. If you have any questions in relation to this, please use the submit feedback button to send me an email, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, thanks for watching the screencast, and thanks for buying Dive Buddy Pro. I hope you like it. There's going to be obviously continuing updates. I'm a diving instructor myself. I do it for the fun of it. So please bear in mind that I can't always do things straight away, but I think this is the best and the only iPad diving application. So tell your friends and have a good day.